In reading their content on their website, I was just astounded at the way they describe men who have gone MGTOW, as male supremacists, as hating women, as toxic, misogynists who want nothing at all to do with women. Just the way that the men who have decided to go their own way are described on these websites is just extremely hateful. All right, guys, so today on Resilient Man channel, we're going to talk about MGTOW, men going their own way, that movement. Have you gone your own way as a man? Would you describe yourself as MGTOW? Would you describe yourself as red pill, or would you describe yourself as black pill? We're out here on the hiking trail today. It's a beautiful spring day, so I thought I'd come out and do a message, kind of switch it up a little bit instead of always being in one place. It was so cold for a long time that I had to stay inside to do my messages. So welcome back to Resilient Man channel. If you're new here, great special welcome to you. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Please comment your thoughts and your take as we discuss MGTOW and that movement and how it has affected men. So how would you describe yourself? As MGTOW, as red pill or black pill? Have you made that decision as a man to quote unquote go your own way? Have you decided that you want nothing to do with women, or just kind of dialed it back? How would you describe the way you look at the current situation with relationships between men and women in our society today? I am not against MGTOW per se. Many of the tenets or the ideals of the MGTOW movement I agree with. I understand because of the climate and the situation that men have to deal with in our society and culture today when it comes to dating and marriage, the legality of it, especially when it comes to divorce, and how there is so much bias against men in the so-called family court. So to me, MGTOW makes total sense and is understandable. For myself, I think it's a matter of being extremely cautious and as a man in our society today, because you have to, because the risk that you take in dealing with modern women can cost you a lot, not just financially, legally, from a legal standpoint, or especially from a mental and emotional standpoint too, as you can be dragged through a lot of pain and misery, as we all know as men. So in researching MGTOW, because I wanted to talk about this on Resilient Man channel, I made a point of looking at why people oppose MGTOW, or who are the ones that oppose MGTOW, and why do they oppose it. And it really was fascinating to read, because now, granted, the websites that I looked at, they are leftist, liberal, websites, feminist type of websites and such. Some of them were actually by men too, which was really sad. And in reading their content on their website, I was just astounded at the way they describe men who have gone MGTOW, as male supremacists, as hating women, as toxic, misogynist, who want nothing at all to do with women. Just the way that the men who have decided to go their own way are described on these websites is just extremely hateful, which is typical of these leftist liberal groups anyways. But in addition to that, they also completely ignore the issues that men have to deal with in our society and culture, legitimate issues. And one of them actually called them, quote unquote, imaginary issues. You know, the issues that men face with trying to date the modern women, trying to date the modern woman, the issues that men deal with in marriage, especially in divorce when it comes to how men are treated in our so-called family court system. You know, I just thought to myself, I was reading their content and how these men are literally portrayed as fascists, quite frankly, you know, and I thought to myself, you know, I would love for these people to go sit in a family court for a day and just observe what happens to the majority of men when it comes to divorce, how they are railroaded financially, what happens to the majority of the fathers in a divorce situation in family court, where 90+% of the time, fathers do not get custody of their children, which, I mean, that in and of itself, you know, the bias towards women and towards mothers is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, in most cases, hell, the mother, she literally would have to be the devil herself or a crack whore working the streets for the court to not award her child custody. And then, of course, what comes along with that is, and many times, exorbitant child support paid to a mother who, quite frankly, is physically capable of going out to earn herself. But she's been given the majority of custody, if not full custody, and so she's able to kick back, if you will, and enjoy that passive income of child support coming in, when if it was truly equal, truly fair in family court, the standard would be at least 50-50 custody, and there would be a lot more fathers who actually got full custody of their children, because, as you know, as a father watching this, there are many good guys out there, many good fathers who, once they went through their divorce, found themselves in that situation, even though they were excellent fathers. And then, of course, you've got other factors such as alimony, again, being paid to a wife who is perfectly physically capable of going out to earn her own income, and yet the family court awards her this passive income where she's able to kick back and live the life of leisure that she wants to live. So that was one of my thoughts when I was reading these anti-MGTOW websites, and it was just astounding to me, not surprising, but astounding how they absolutely negate and discredit and ignore the issues that men face in our society and culture today when it comes to all these issues between men and women. They're real, they're legitimate. That's why there is a MGTOW movement. So, that's what I found when I was researching it. Now, again, I would classify myself as, I guess, partially MGTOW. I would classify myself as red pill. And I would say that because of the experiences that I've had over the course of my life, but they're real. They're real experiences, and they shaped my mindset, just like they shaped your mindset. Now, having said that, I'm not anti-women. I don't hate women. I don't want to bash women. Quite frankly, a lot of the content here on Resilient Man channel, I really don't even like to talk about women. I'd rather talk about positive things that's going to help us as men, especially you guys who are watching, who you've been through the similar circumstances, or you're going through similar circumstances. My focus and my concern is to be an advocate for guys like you, and the other guys who are watching Resilient Man channel can chime in, be an advocate for you as well with advice and encouragement. You know, the thought of this being anti-woman is the last thing on my mind. But a lot of times, unfortunately, the topics, the challenges that we deal with as men in our society and culture do involve women, and they do involve what a lot of women are doing out there today in our society. That's just stating a fact. So, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your take. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I always like to read your comments as well. Share this with your brethren out there. And guys, know your worth. Protect your peace.